Can you see it? We did it! We did it! We did it!
We get it. You're on full screen now. Just shut up and get on with the video.
Sorry. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, I'm talking about I don't know actually what I want to kind of call it yet. I mean, by now you'll seen the title, and that's what I've called it. But I don't actually know right now, like filming this, what I'm actually going to call it. So I guess it's like a retro gaming collector's pet peeves and a bit of a CEX rant, I guess. But you know, we're going to find out anyways. So pet peeves, we all have them as retro gamers. You know, there's things that we want. You know, some people are more I don't know what I'm saying. Perfectionists. You know, some people want the games to be perfect, both in condition, with the case, the manual, the disc, like everything. And some people don't. You know, some people are just happy to own the game, etc. But if you're someone like me who has very specific standards, which sounds, you know, a bit posh, I know, but you know, so that's the kind of thing I'm going to be talking about. So my first example is when you go to get a game, but the case is broken. So what I mean by that, so an example, I went to a CEX to get a copy of Crash Team Racing on the PS1. You know, I specifically went to this store because they had a copy. There was the closest CEX in my area that had a copy, so I picked it up. But you know, and this was at the height of its price thing because of its re-release, because of the PS4 release that was coming out. I think it was on PS4 and Xbox One, but anyway. So upon that coming out, you know, the original one went up and it was like £32 when I bought it. So I picked it up and I bought it for, yeah, it was £32 when I bought it. But I saw it on display in the CEX cabinet, like behind the counter, and I said, you know, I want to get that. And he picked it out, and you know, the front part of the case, obviously this bit here was broken. You know, so it was off. So obviously it was standing up properly, but then when he picked it up, obviously this was off. So it was like, okay, so there's no discount on it. You know, there's no like anything else on it. It's still £32 I've got to spend, which means I've also then got to get a case. Now, in comparison to like other cases, like Xbox cases, we can just pick them up for 50p in CEX, just get a crappy sports title, and you know, which has got a case that's really good condition, just use that case. You know, PS1 cases are a bit harder to get hold of. Well, I found anyway. Maybe you guys may be different, but I found it quite hard to pick them up for really, really cheap. So that was broken, and it's like no discount, no anything, no, you know, is that okay, or should we take a couple of quid off, kind of thing. So I still bought it because, ironically, I did have a spare case at the time. But hello. Sorry about this, I've just literally looked at the back and it says not to be sold separately on the bottom. I don't actually know. Let me know in the comment section below if that was like if this was part of a bundle or something then, because I don't actually know then what where this one actually came from. To be honest. Which also begs the question, I suppose, with CEX, because normally they'd scan the barcode, but there is no barcode to scan, so maybe they just typed it in to see it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what that is from. Let me know in the comments below if you know what that is. But yeah, that's the kind of other thing. And the next thing, so yeah, broken cases is just silly, and it's just like, ugh, it's annoying. And then another thing I want to talk about is the condition of some cases, because you look at some cases and it's like, the copy of Rogops I picked up, it was the CEX I was in had the copy, and it was the only copy within local travelling area that I could get to. Bear in mind this was pre-COVID, and got it, and it's like the case looked like someone had like eaten chocolate, and they got it all over their hands, and then they picked up the game and was like looking at it and doing this other stuff, and then they left it, and it's like, so what? You're just not going to clean it or anything? Because it's like, well, would you have taken it in that condition? you know, because there's no way you would have taken it in that condition at all. So how is it like that? You know, it's like one of the workers just eating a chocolate and then just handling the games. I mean, what's going on? But you know, it is what it is, and I still bought it. Again, I got a replacement case. I think I bought like FIFA 2005 or something, and I, you know, put the case in that. But it's just stupid. Again, it's like, really, is that really what you want to do, especially when you're going specifically for a game? But yeah, so next thing I want to talk about is manuals. Now, if you're like me, you want the game to have a manual. I mean, there are so, like, I've made it so anytime I go into a CEX store, unless the game I'm going for has the manual in the case already, then I'm not going to actually buy it. Because there are so many times where I've gone to a CEX specifically for a game that only this CEX, like, or this is the closest CEX that has a copy or multiple copies, and you look through the copies and there's no manual. And it's safe to say it's triggering, okay? But it's safe to say that, you know, that's a really big pet peeve for me. So, Christmas last year, I got, or was it last year? It might have been 29. No, it was this last year. I think it was last year anyway. I think he says he hopes. Yes, it was last year. My Christmas list, I still do a Christmas list because I like doing lists regardless of anything, no matter how old I get. Putting things in lists is always good for me. So I did a list of games that I wanted, and my mum ordered some off the CEX website, and it was funny because all of them came with manuals but one, and that was Justice League Heroes on the Xbox. And it was so triggering because it's like every other one had it. Like Eternal Champions was one of the games. Mega Drive came with a manual. Psychic Force came with a manual. Wild 9 on PS1 came with a manual. But this was the only one that didn't. And it was like, you know, and I hate it because it's one of those, and because at the time it was like £6. And it's like, I'm not going to spend £6 on another copy just to get a manual for it, no matter how much I want the manual. But it does annoy me. It annoys me so much. And like, I've got a list, all the games I've got on my list, and it's like I've got the ones that I need to be complete. But the other thing, of course, is like with some of the older the newer PS3 and 360 games, in their life cycle, you know, they didn't have manuals. So like some PS3 ones, you have like a booklet and it says, you know, the full manual can be found online, which I think an example of that is in my Kingdom of Amalur Reckoning on PS3. But yeah, it's like, so it's trying to work that out, because it's like, I've got all these games and I want to have manuals, but obviously some of them won't have manuals. And the thing is, I don't know which ones, you know, do and don't have manuals. So some of the COD games, like I've got a manual for the Fork, you know, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, I think now. And then it's just like the other ones, I just don't think I have the manuals for. But then I don't think they all came with manuals. So, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, it doesn't trigger me so much with like PS4 and Xbox Ones, because obviously that's, you know, that's a thing that happens. But because they're new and you don't really, some of them do have booklets, etc. But you know, it's not important now with like PS4 and Xbox One games. But it's just kind of annoying when you think, okay, so the first, you know, set of Xbox 360 and PS3 games do have manuals, and the other ones don't. So it's just trying to differentiate between the two to think where, you know, which ones do and which ones don't have manuals. So it is annoying, but I'm going to find a way around that. Yeah, so back to like condition of cases. So I picked up this copy of Sniper Elite off eBay. Now I don't know if you can see by the shine. If I try and shine it, so like here you can see like a sticker that's been removed, but it's a really old like sticker thing, and they're here too. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it's just like, it's really rough and it's really annoying. So I do need to get another case for this. But again, it was one of those things where like CEX didn't have a copy of this, and so they only sell it for like £4 on the website. But I picked this up for like £6 on eBay, I think, in total with postage. So it was very hard for me to kind of say, okay, I'm just turn it down, because this was the only copy, and obviously I really wanted it. So I picked it up. And I still need to get a replacement case for it. But again, you know, one thing I like about doing it with eBay is obviously you can see the pictures of, you know, if it's pictured with the manual and stuff like that, then, you know, it's better doing it that way for me. But yeah, stuff like that really just gets on my nerves. And the other thing is old stickers as well. So like, if you look at these, like, so my Time Splitters and Far Cry Instincts, so you've got old, like, I think this was from Game, like, old sticker that goes like all the way around. You have to try and like get rid of it off of the actual insert, and then obviously you've got the old stickers that go on the manuals. It's like, this doesn't bother me so much. Like, you know, as long as the outer case is okay. Like, I don't necessarily mind the stickers on it too much. Obviously, I'd rather it not be that way, but obviously if it does, then it does. So, you know, I'll kind of focus on that really. But yeah, then again, it's when you've got the ones on the spine like this, and it's just like with that one as well, and it's like, well, why? And then you've obviously got stuff like the writing and stuff on there, and on the disc as well. I don't know if you can actually see it, just there, yes. So yeah, it's just like all of these things. But then I suppose because they're pre-owned and they have to mint their own system, you know, of numbers and wherever they are, etc. So you got to kind of respect that, really. But I mean, at the same time, it's very annoying, especially nowadays. But you know, I know that you can get like label removers and stuff like that, but it is what it is. So the last two things I want to talk about is, so the first thing I want to talk about is the wrong disc. And so what I mean, I don't mean like you get the wrong disc. I mean, even though that is annoying if you get the wrong disc. But I mean, like, so if you get a game, and so if you, I don't know what's going on. I'm rambling.
What the fuck is going on?
Ignore me, please. It's one of those things where, like, if you buy a game and it has a platinum version, and they have a platinum version in stock, but you're not going for that version, they'll give you the disc sometimes anyway. So, like, when I bought my copy of Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, you know, again, had the manual inside, so I bought it, and that was okay. But yeah, Classics disc is a pet peeve, because it's like, I'm quite OCD when it comes to things being like that. But it's like, again, it's not quite that much annoying to me. Like, you know, if it is annoying to you, you know, then you're clearly more like thinking about it than I am. You know, a bit more perfectionist in that respect. But like, for this, like, I don't care so much if it's a Classics or not. Like, recently, when I picked up my Final Fantasy 13 and my previous pickups videos, you know, they gave me the platinum version, even though it was obviously the black label case. Annoying as it is, but again, like, it doesn't annoy me so much, because there's no difference in the game at all. It's not going to play any differently. It's not going to, you know, nothing's going to be different other than the actual disc itself. So that's kind of annoying, but you know, I just think it is what it is. And finally, for the last thing that really gets on my nerves, especially again when it comes to having to replace cases, is fading on the colour. So, and again, it all comes down to, if you're going somewhere, again, like CEX, I guess I'm going to call it a CEX rant as well at the end of the day. But, you know, with this thing being what it is, like, you go into CEX and you CEX, whatever, and you go into buy a game, it's in that store only, you know, it's close to you, or you've travelled a bit further to get it because you really want it, and it's like the closest place you can go to get it, and then there's something wrong with it. So, for example, a while back, I managed to pick up a copy of Psychonauts on the original Xbox, but, you know, I asked her, I said, is the manual in there? Because it was displayed behind the counter. So I said, you know, does it have the manual inside? And so it did, so I bought it, and then it wasn't until afterwards, when I'm on the train and I do my, like, check of the discs and everything else, because I can get them cleaned by Pete at Retro Games HQ anyway. But, like, if you look at here, you can see it's faded. And it's just like, well, obviously it looks different when it's on my shelf, because it's just like, oh, so, you know, all of them are green, and then you've got this one which looks kind of well, it's not even green, is it? It's like a faded blue almost now. And it's really annoying because it's just like, well, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to have to put up with that. And especially because it's an expensive game as well. So it's like, because I think I paid like £15 for this. Obviously, I think it's gone up more. It's gone up now. But yeah, it's just like picking up these games, and it's like that. And you think, well, because it's a game, you know, it's not like one of those. Again, it's not like a 50p game where you can just go, all right, I'm just going to pick it up and change it, because it's the actual fact that it's faded, you know, and it's like you don't want it to be faded, especially when all the others look the right way. It's the same with my copy of Buffy Chaos Bleeds, because again, that's the same thing. Like, obviously, it's, you know, you've got the deep red at the top here, and then you've got pink. You know, it looks really pink and bleh. And it doesn't look right. And then I remember seeing a copy of this in another CEX, and obviously the Buffy thing, obviously it was red on the spine, and it was gold, like the goldish kind of colour here on there, and it looked so cool, and it was like, oh, I'm going to get it. But then again, it's like and altogether, I have to pay like, you know, £5 or £6, or I think it's what it is still now, just to do that, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks. But you know, I think that's the problem. You know, I think in the future, I'm just going to try and just be a bit more, I suppose it's just trying to be a bit more vigilant about it. I think, you know, because I know Danny, I know you, when we went to Woking, I remember you said, you know, you want to check the discs before, obviously, you know, otherwise you're not going to buy them, and stuff like that. And I get that. You know, I think people will have different ways of going about buying their games. Like I said, you know, my entire collection is built up from eBay, from Retro Games HQ in Swindon, and CEX, of course. You know, and I think that's the point. Is, you know, you get to a point where as you buy games, like for me, obviously, I rushed into it, which is something you shouldn't really do. I rushed into it and was really excited about it, and I bought games and games and games. And then it wasn't until afterwards you kind of stop and you think, well, okay, what am I actually going to do? You know, what am I actually going to, what am I actually going to do to change that? Because there's always something, you know, to change when it comes to collecting. So, like, I think in the future, you know, I'm just going to make sure, I'm going to keep to checking if the manual's in there before I buy it. I think I'm going to do a lot of research on, like, which 360 and PS3 games don't have manuals that are on my list, so that therefore I can just buy the game and stop worrying about if it does have the manual or not, because I'll know if it does have it, then I'm going to look for that one, and if it doesn't, I'm just going to pick it up anyway. If it didn't come with a manual to begin with. And then, yeah, with broken cases as well, it's just like, if it's too broken or if it's too, like, out of it, then I'm just not going to do anything with it. Like, again, getting replacement cases is fine, but, like, for PS1 games and stuff like that, it's really hard. Like, even going to Pete's, like, if I was going to buy, like, a really bad, like, racing game or football game on the PS1, you know, that's still, like, about £1, something like that. So, you know, which is, again, it's not bad for, obviously, for PS1 cases. So, it's just, I think it's just that the pet peeve of going, oh, you have to replace a case for something that, you know, should be better taken care of. And then you always ask yourself, you know, there's times where I've seen people try to trade stuff in, and they'll have, like I think I saw someone trade in a PS1 game once, and it had a crack. Or it might have been me, actually. Had like a crack in a place. And then, again, I said that story about Crash Team Racing, and it's like, well, like, how do some of these games end up like this? You know, and then you look at some of the condition of some of the DVDs and games, but then there are times where you go in there and there are some people that just don't look at the discs when people are trading stuff in. You know, they just literally take it out on disc, and, you know, admittedly, that's happened to me before, where, like, I'll trade stuff in and they'll just literally take the disc out, put it in a sleeve, and, you know, that'll be it. Just to kind of, I suppose, speed up the process. You know, but yeah, I mean, I'm probably just going to leave it there, guys. I apologise if it's been a bit of a rant. I suppose I'm going to call it a retro gaming pet peeve / CEX rant. But yeah, you know, I think it's been all over YouTube. People have ranted about CEX, about their trade prices and stuff like that. But I mean, I think with, like, trade prices, I think it's really different, because I suppose it depends on what it is. So when I talked about Gale of Darkness, you know, being that's like, oh, that's you know, it's £115 they sell it for at the moment, but you get £100 cash or £116 trade. Now, to me, that's not bad, you know, in either cash or the trade. But at the same time, you look at stuff like the big box set of the seasons 1 to 5 of the 1994-95 Spider-Man animated series, and you know they sell that for £105, but the trade-in is only like 52. So it's like, you know, so you're missing out on like a lot just because that's how much it is. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comment section below. You know, what are your pet peeves when it comes to gaming? You know, what is it that grinds your gears? What is it that really kind of gets under your skin? And just, you know, just really gets you riled up. But yeah, hit that like button, subscribe down below, with notifications turned on for my latest videos. I'm approaching 100 subscribers really soon. I'm on 90 as upon filming this video, so I'd really like to get 100 really soon. So thank you very much for everyone who's subscribed already. Thank you for all the likes and comments you've left on my videos. Thank you to everyone who's shouted out my channel, and to the people who've like promoted my channel to other YouTubers. Thank you very much, guys. But yeah, thank you very much for watching and subscribing, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing. And as always, guys, take care of yourselves.